Hello, everyone. We're just having everyone sign on. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We'll just give it one more minute as people start to join us. We have a record number of attendees today. We might actually even be over our limit. So we'll handle that if that does happen, but what a wonderful problem to have. So just give us one quick moment and then I'll do some introductions and we will get started. I think it's right on the button, 2 o'clock. So yep, I can see the participant numbers going up. So we'll give it just another minute or so. And while they come in, I will just say hello to all of you. It's so wonderful to have you joining me here again today. I think this is it's our 7th or 8th happy hour. And every single time we do them, the feedback has been amazing. 2 weeks ago was Calgary and the Calgary Stampede, and the feedback was absolutely overwhelming that you enjoyed it so much. It was quite emotional for some people, especially for people in Calgary who have been to the Calgary Stampede year after year after year, that it was very different having the virtual events. But and watching the video, We Will Ride Again, was really emotional, but we're really looking forward to 2021 and getting back to Calgary Stampede the way it should be. But we were just really happy to have you join us. So let me just look again, see where we're at for numbers. Rolling in, which is fantastic. We'll just give it one more minute before we get going. You might have noticed that we've changed our happy hour time to slightly earlier in the day, which works a little bit better for some people because we want to include everyone that we can across Canada. We do have quite a few people joining us from the East now, which is fantastic because we have got so many great supporters in the West, and we just love that. So we'll give it one more minute. I'm going to look at my clock here. Okay, fantastic. So let's get started. We'll allow people to just keep coming in as they choose to. Again, welcome. Lots of new names joining us today, and of course some of the ones that are your regulars that come to all of our happy hours, and we're just so grateful for your commitment to Anderson Vacations. But I'm going to tell you, for those of you who may have not joined us previously on a happy hour, I'll give you a little bit of quick background on who we are. We're a Canadian company. We're based out of Calgary, so we're like Canadian, homegrown. And when you shop with Anderson Vacations, you're shopping local. And I always say this, there has never been a more important time than right now to shop local, to explore your own backyard. And I know people are doing it because I'm here on Vancouver Island and I'm trying to find a place to go next week to do my holidays. And lots of places are getting booked up with locals traveling, BC residents traveling within BC, Alberta residents traveling within Alberta. Yes, the situation right now, it's going up and down a little bit, but we're adapting, we're adjusting, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that your guests are absolutely safe. The protocols are in place with all of our partners, so they will be safe traveling, whether it be a self-drive vacation or one of our escorted tours as soon as those are up and running in the fall and winter time. We're super excited to be talking about Quebec today. From the very first one of our webinars that we did originally, people started asking about Quebec. So having Manuela here today is really, really exciting. And I will introduce her in just one moment. Quebec to me is, right now, it's so important for you as professional travel consultants to pivot, to really take a hold of what you're doing with your clients, making them aware that you can offer Canada to them as an alternative. They're not going to know unless you tell them, unless you plant that seed. Now, if you've got clients who would normally go to Europe this time of year for August, September, why not plant that seed and give them the idea of perhaps going to Quebec and having a completely wonderful European experience with the European food, the European culture, and so on. I have someone who's raised their hand. Oop, I missed it, so sorry. I'll let Pip handle any of the things coming in. So we're super excited to have this as a product. If you do school groups or custom groups, why not go after those schools that would normally do a European holiday for next winter and maybe spring break of next year, because they might not be going to Europe. Why not send them to Quebec to have this really European experience? Absolutely Awesome. Before we get started, I do want to mention a couple things about housekeeping. It is vitally important that you pay attention to Manuela today because she's going to be giving you some lovely information about Quebec, and you're going to be learning all kinds of stuff. Make a few notes because one of the very last slides that we have is 3 questions. And those questions must be answered, submitted to me, and we will choose a winner, randomly choose a winner from those names, and the winner will win a trip for 2, a land package to Quebec that Manuela has been so generous and put together for us. So it's been a long time. I know you all want to get out there and travel, and it's good, I think, until the end of 2021. So it's just something to get excited about and dream about. So please pay attention while we talk about this fantastic destination, so close to home, but yet so unique with the warm flair. You've got to have poutine. And I don't want to say too much because I know Manuela has lots of things to share with you. But before we get to that, let me quickly jump to the next slide. Most of you know who I am, Darcie Guarderas, the Director of Business Development for Anderson Vacations. I've been in the business 32 years. My passion is travel, just like all of you, but my true passion is Canada and exploring from coast to coast to coast. Today, for our extra early happy hour, I don't usually drink at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but if I need to, I will. So today, I have this lovely wine. It's delicious, and it's called Le Couchant. It's a French wine from Quebec. It's a Chardonnay. It's delicious. It's like really kind of actually bold, but yummy, really, really delicious. Not on the cheaper side of the wines. It's a little bit more expensive. I think it's around $37 a bottle, but absolutely lovely. So thank you for joining us. Cheers to you. Happy hour. And we will get started. Let me just jump. So I'm so thrilled to announce or to invite Manuela Brun to speak to you today. Thank you so much for being here, Manuela. It's great to have you.
Thank you, Darcie. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. And I have a lot of things to say about Quebec. So I'll try to tell everything I can during this webinar. I would like also to introduce you to our 2 location experts who went on the field to offer you more information for this webinar for Anderson Vacation. So now I would like to begin with the first question we can have, which is, where is Quebec? Well, guess what? Quebec is in Canada. I think you know that. Just to, you can go to next slide. And the other one. Just to enable you to get a good idea on the geography, I just wanted to point out our getaway cities, which are Montreal, Quebec City, and Gatineau. You can go further. Yeah, and I've drawn a big circle on my map to show our beautiful maritime region. It's such a beautiful part of our province, and I'm going to tell you all about it very soon. Then I would like to begin by telling you what are the 3 reasons why people want to come back to Quebec. Firstly, we have a culture that creates. It's a fun, positive, and effervescent expression. You can go to the next slide. In fact, our unique culture goes beyond arts and music. It's also in the way we do things and the way we think. Secondly, we have a warm welcome. That's probably one of the best souvenirs a visitor can bring back home, actually. And Quebecers greet travelers like long-lost friends, and they are generous and they want to make sure their guests have a good time. My family is actually from France, and they come often in Quebec to visit me. And one of the things they always talk about when they leave is about our warm welcome. So I think it's true. The third reason is our connection to the land, actually. With Arctic Island to the north and St. Lawrence to the south, we are bordered by glacier, rivers, lake, and peatland. The land has forged out our culture throughout history from the first people to today. As a small population in such a vast expanse, we can allow ourselves to experience the raw side of life. So these are the three pillars of the foundation of what was Quebec original and what became Bonjour Quebec 1 month ago. And just to give you an idea of how much we love to say bonjour, I have a quick video to show you.
Say bonjour to vacations here. Say bonjour to Quebec.
So I would like to talk about Quebec through 6 unique experiences you have to discover when you come to Quebec. So first of all, I'd like to, pardon the pun, take a deep dive into the St. Lawrence River, which is incredibly diverse and covers a huge area. Obviously, with such a large territory, we'll naturally talk about our great outdoors. Then about how to discover our culture and living history. We'll travel a bit in our vibrant cities. I'll also share with you some of our local flavors and how you can enjoy yourself during a visit. And to finish, we need to talk about our various road trips. So let's start with the St. Lawrence River. To step back a bit and before taking this deeper dive into the maritime region, it's worth reminding you that the St. Lawrence is at once an estuary, a gulf, and the second largest river in the world. The St. Lawrence River dominates a lot of our life in the maritime region, and it's grandiose, majestic, and imposing. I will let Nathalie explain a bit more about the maritime region.
Hello everyone, my name is Nathalie Lapointe and I work for Quebec Maritime. First of all, let me say thank you to Anderson Vacation and Manuela for inviting me to be part of this webinar. In the Quebec Maritime, our focal point is the St. Lawrence River, and we do have a great playground, and it covers all the eastern part of the province of Quebec. We do have 4 different regions, la Côte-Nord, le Bas-Saint-Laurent, la Gaspésie, et les îles de la Madeleine. In those 4 regions, you'll be able to find more than 3,000 kilometers of coastline, 13 different species of whales, 10 national parks, and a lighthouse trail with more than 40 sentinels of the sea. I'm standing here in front of the Pointe-au-Père Lighthouse, a National Historic Site. This is one of 18 lighthouses that you can visit in our regions. So I welcome you to come and see us, and to learn more about the Quebec by the Sea regions, you can look at our website, www.quebecmaritime.ca. Thank you, hope to see you soon.
Yeah, so this was, she was Nathalie, and she's the expert on the Quebec Maritime region. I just want to show you quickly a map. You can see that east of Quebec City, the river widens and mixes with salt water. And that creates a unique marine environment of distinctive islands, beaches, wildlife, plants, and tides. So on the map, you can see the various important places to know around the St. Lawrence River and the 4 regions Nathalie talked about. So there is Côte-Nord, Bas-Saint-Laurent, Gaspésie, and Île de la Madeleine. But I will mainly talk about Gaspésie and Bas-Saint-Lawrence today. And you have also an idea of what the Lighthouse Trail looks like in Gaspésia. Now that you had an overview, I want to tell you about one of my favorite spots to spend a day in the Bas-Saint-Lawrence region. I start by visiting one of the lighthouse trail. You have a lot of amazing pictures to take over there. Then I go for a walk in the big national park along the waterfront. The view is just amazing. At the end of the day, I rest with a beer in a local microbrewery facing the river, which is a bit south from the big national park. So you can see, this is really my picture at Tête d'Allumette. This is really beautiful to have a drink. And then I finish my day kayaking at sunset on the silent St. Lawrence River. Sunsets over there or on the water are amazing in this part of the province. The Bas-Saint Laurent is really the best place to see a beautiful sunset, as you can see on the picture. About our great outdoors, we have 24 national parks all across Quebec, which are more than 7,200 kilometers square of unique protected territories. And what is awesome about that is the fact that this backcountry is so accessible, right outside of our cities and town. I mean, you drive 45 minutes and now you're in the backcountry. So that's really amazing for us. There are activities for everyone. From kayaking to climbing to hiking. We love spending time outside, so don't worry, there are activities for everyone. You can hike actually pretty much everywhere. You'll find breathtaking boreal forest, as you can see on the picture on the left. You'll pass by countless lakes, or you will take the high road following the fjord. Any of this trip is just amazing when you're hiking. And if you enjoy a vertical challenge, yeah, thank you. You can also choose one of the few locations in the Laurentian where you can launch in and over the forest on a zip line. And for those who prefer to feel the ground beneath their feet, which I can understand, they may be considered discovering our beautiful province by bike. Quebec has an incredible cycle network with 5,300 kilometers cycle path, also known as La Route Verte or the Green Route in English, which connects all regions of Quebec together. You can also enjoy the great outdoors while observing the incredible fauna which calls Quebec their home. For example, you can more easily observe moose and caribou in Gaspésia. You can also go to the Bonaventure Island in Gaspésia off Percé, where a colony of northern garnets is established. There are more than 100,000 birds nesting here. That's crazy. You can also watch whales which are staying in the St. Lawrence estuary during all summer. About our culture is a hybrid from a number of different origins, and it explains in part why creativity is so important to Quebec. It's fundamental part of our culture and can explain why you can find art on every street corner in Montreal or in Quebec, as you can see on the picture. Historically, Quebec was initially named New France. Quebec has over 400 years of history under both the French and the British regimes. And let's check with Paul on location in Quebec City. I think she wanted to take you there and to take you where everything began for Quebec.
Bonjour and welcome to Quebec City. I am Paul Bergeron and I'm here with you today to explore old Quebec and see its wonders. I am standing on the edge of the St. Lawrence River, exactly where Samuel de Champlain, our founder, dropped his anchor over 400 years ago to set up a trading post. Today, Quebec City is a World Heritage Site recognized by UNESCO. Plenty of culture and history to discover in Old Quebec. And I will see you later in the heart of Old Quebec to explore more. So for now, enjoy the view. Bonjour.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Manuela.
Sorry. This was Paul, and she's the best about Quebec City. What she doesn't know about it doesn't worth knowing. So if you have any question, she's the best for that. Hold on, we have more than history and art in Quebec. We also have some incredible augmented reality experiences. They are located across the entire province, whether on a bridge overlooking the city, hidden in the heart of Basilica in Montreal, or in the middle of nature. Here are two examples you can see on the pictures. On the left is the Aura Show. It's an highlight in Montreal. With the backdrop of an incredible Notre Dame Cathedral, the Aura Show immerse yourself in the incredible light show and soundtrack. On the right, you have the Forestam Lumina, which is a multimedia nighttime experience along Coaticook Canyon, which tells the story through 7 beautiful manuscripts. Visitors are put into the center of this tale, it's a tale of heritage from the region, and it captures the mythology of the Quebec forest. It's very nice to do with children as well. Finally, I would like to show you a last spot regarding the culture and living history experience with Nathalie's help. She's going to show you an historical site which is well known as being a haven of tranquility.
Again, I am now standing at the Redford Gardens, Canada's National Historic Site. The gardens were built between 1926 and 1958 by a passionate plant lover and gardener, Darcie Guarderas. Open to the public since the 1960s, it is still a tradition for local family to come and enjoy the garden every year. Some 3,000 species and varieties of plant can be found in over a dozen gardens, classic and modern. When you're visiting the gardens, you have also access to the Villa Estevan, where Elsie was spending her summer days with her family here at Grand Métis. Since you will come for sure and visit the garden and the villa, you'll have a chance to have a fine dining experience at the Blue Poppy restaurant located at the villa. So I invite you to come and visit the Redford Gardens, and you'll learn more about Elsie and her passion, which were gardening, politics, and salmon fishing. See you soon.
So let's talk about our cities now. Quebec, Montreal, and Gatineau, our cities constantly bubbling with energy and festivities. Next slide. When we think of vibrant cities, naturally we think of Montreal. So just so you know, I live in Montreal and I love this city. you will see that. Montreal is considered the cosmopolitan capital of Quebec, and it is the largest French-speaking city in North America. Montreal is made up of several small neighborhoods, which all have their own unique atmosphere, architecture, and diversity. Let's look at two different point of view. We'll start with the lowest and the highest part of the city. So first, on the left, you can see the old port. where you can walk along the St. Lawrence at the clock dock with a breathtaking view on the Jacques Cartier Bridge. This bridge is even more beautiful when it is illuminated or adorned with fireworks every summer. On the right, we have the Belvédère du Mont-Royal, or the viewpoint point of the Mont-Royal. The Mont-Royal is a huge park in the heart of the city and is omnipresent wherever you are. Actually, there is a bylaw in Montreal that states that no building can be higher than the Mont-Royal. So once you get to the top, your panoramic view is totally unobstructed. A very good place to take photos as well. So I told you I'm from Montreal, and right now I'm live from the Plateau district. This is where you can see the photo with the little house. Those lovely houses were just next to my previous apartment, and there is a nice park with a fountain in front of it. I've lived in the Plateau for 5 years now, and I just love this neighborhood. Anyway, one of the best way to see Montreal is to walk through it. Montreal is really bigger than what you see on the map, but it's just to tell you that you can really discover things by foot. There are so many great districts within a walking distance, actually. You can start by walking through Old Montreal, which is like stepping into the past, and just steps away is the downtown core, which is spectacularly modern. You should then walk through a neighborhood like the Plateau, and you can navigate between small, colorful houses, and there is a wonderful mural around every corner. And only stone's throw away, you can discover the luxury boutiques of the Golden Square Mile, or stop by the Ritz-Carlton for afternoon tea. Why not? By the way, this was the very, very first Ritz-Carlton in the world. So I just show you on the map as well the Notre Dame Basilica, where the Aura show happens. I talked about that just earlier. So each neighborhood in Montreal has its own identity, and these elements together make Montreal such a cosmopolitan and vibrant city. Now I talk about Montreal, and I will let my colleague Paul to talk to you about Quebec City directly from there.
Hi there again. How are you? What a view. I mean, this is something that amazes me every time in Old Quebec. The beautiful architecture, the green spaces, and especially today, with such a glorious weather. I am standing right now on the top of the fortifications in Old Quebec. And this is a great spot for picnics. There's a lot of people who come here because of the view, because of the environment. It's quiet, it's out of the beaten path, and it's a little unknown secret that people don't know so much about. Behind me, you have the Chateau Frontenac, which is always in view in Old Quebec, which is fascinating. And on the other side, in front of me, I'm facing the Plains of Abraham, which is a green oasis in the heart of Old Quebec. Fantastic view. And speaking of green oasis, only 30 minutes drive outside of Quebec City, even less than that, 15 minutes, and you are at the Montmorency Falls. And if you continue on, you can go all the way up to Mont-Saint-Anne, which is a great ski resort and a mountain bike resort in the summertime. So again, enjoy the view, and remember, we are Quebec Cité, l'accent d'Amérique. Come and visit us soon, please.
Oh, you're muted.
that she was right about the view. That was really beautiful. About your local flavors, we have some of the best chefs, restaurants, and products in North America, and our local flavors are something we are really proud of. When people think of Quebec, they naturally think about poutine, which is a Canadian treasure, and of course our delicious maple products. It's impossible not talking about it because it's obviously linked with our province. But these two products are just the tip of the iceberg, and there are so many products that are just as influential without maybe the notoriety. What I think is the most important to retain is that our producers and artisans are talented people who offer exceptional products and fantastic stories related to them. In addition to restaurants and chefs, the culinary scene in Quebec is also defined and amplified by the produce native to our province. The superb microbrewer, cider, and maple producers, as well as cheesemakers and wine growers, all add to the unique and world-class experience when you visit Quebec. Our chefs are bold, creative, passionate, and make our local products the star of the dish. By the way, I truly recommend you to watch one of the last episodes of the show Somebody Fit Phil on Netflix. It gets you through all kinds of culinary discoveries in Montreal and really reflects what it is. Just one advice for you, cook yourself something nice while watching it, otherwise you end up starving after watching all this nice food on TV. And finally, all road trips, heading for the horizon, falling in love with bustling cities and picturesque villages, or taking the river. When you hit the road in Quebec, adventures awaits around every corner. So, for example, you can try the Gaspésie Grand Tour, the wine route, the Chemin du Roi, or even the Lighthouse route, as Nathalie talked about earlier. But I would like to tell you a bit more about the wine route in the Eastern Township region. There is no better way to test products than to go to the source and discover where they came from. On this wine route, a lot began at the Orpailleur vineyard. Two French winemakers set roots in 1982 in the fertile soils of Dunham, which is the birthplace of Quebec viticulture. Soon, they realized that the vine died when the temperature reached minus 25 Celsius degrees. That was kind of a problem. And after various tests, they understood they needed to plant the vine really, really deep into the soil and bury the outside part of the vine under 30 centimeters of soil. And then they conceived and created tractors to bury easily all these vines every winter, and another tractor with huge brushes to unearth them every spring without hurting the vine. So this is just the beginning of the story, and if you want to find out more, then you will have to visit yourself. And if you want to include in an itinerary some of the highlights I talk about today, I suggest this one, for example. You should plan it on 2 weeks because of everything you have to discover, obviously, but also because of distances. To give you a quick idea, Montreal to Percé, on the other hand, is a 10-hour drive at least. So that gives you an idea. Under some vacations, offer a trip with this kind of itinerary, actually, and it's called Historic Quebec and Gaspé Peninsula. So I suggest you have a look at it. It's a very nice one. As you can see, I focused on the south shore of the province with you today, but there is a lot to know and discover about Quebec, and I wouldn't have been able to cover everything today, as I said. I just hope you've been enthusiastic about these discoveries and that you'll enjoy talking about Quebec with your clients as much as I did with you today.
Thank you, Manuela. That was awesome. I could listen to you talk all day long with your beautiful accent. Thank you so much. The videos that your team put together specifically for us at Anderson Vacations, we appreciate that so much. We want that unique flavor and that real life feel. So that was so wonderful. I'm going to skip to the next slide here. And as Manuela mentioned, the Montreal episode of Somebody Feed Phil, if you have not experienced Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix, that is going to be your next program, because I only just recently discovered it and I'm completely addicted. I have the biggest crush on Phil. He's absolutely adorable. He's my favorite person on the whole planet. You've got to watch it. And especially the Montreal episode, it's amazing. And then there's another video. We will be sending out this information to everyone who signed up for the webinar as well. But I'm going to quickly jump through. You know, we always have a recipe, but we kept it really simple because when I think of Quebec, of course, it's the traditional charcuterie, you know, the meat and cheese board. So of course you want to have some lovely meat from Charlevoix, cheese from any of those townships, the eastern townships. You've got to throw a little bit of fruit on there for color. You can even throw some raspberries on there. Lovely bread and nuts, and then a chutney as well. And now I don't know how to say that. How do you say that word? La
Noisette?
Okay, so that's where you want to get your chutney from. We'll see if we can order some of that. So we'll send that out to you as well. But here come the questions. I'm going to leave the questions on the board so you can take a look at them and jot down the answers. They will also be sent out to you afterwards, but please take the time to look at these, and if the email address is at the bottom. A couple things out. There was a chat box, which I should have pointed out earlier. I'm going to look at the questions right now in case the person who's monitoring them. Let's see here. Does Quebec have carnival? We didn't talk about carnival, but there is a big carnival in Quebec, correct?
Yeah, there is a huge one during February every year. But I didn't talk a lot about festivals because during this next few months we don't know exactly how everything will happen. But yeah, Quebec has a very important festival during winter, but also during summer, but more with music actually. But festivals are like part of our culture. It can be in Montreal or in Quebec, but there is a lot of festivals everywhere.
Excellent. Celine also asked if the city is divided in two parts. Now, I'm not sure if she's talking about Montreal or Quebec City, but she's asking, is the city divided in two parts? So one of those cities, would you consider it being divided into two parts, or it's more like several parts, each city?
Actually, Montreal is, as I said, there is a lot of various neighborhood, and in Quebec, she perhaps talk about Quebec because there is old Quebec and the rest of Quebec City, but it's not divided especially. It depends of what you want to discover, because as Paul said, you have a wonderful waterfall just outside, and you have, if you want to discover really the old Quebec and all this cultural information, you can go really in the old Quebec. So it's not divided. It's just two different places to discover.
Okay, perfect. I can answer a couple of these questions. One is, someone was asking, Ziad was asking about driving itineraries, and we do self-drive vacations. Definitely, Anderson Vacations works with you to create self-drive vacations throughout Quebec. But also, Manuela, are there walking itineraries that can be provided by Tourism Quebec or Bonjour Quebec? Walking itineraries?
Oh, inside cities? Yeah, sure, a lot. Yeah, without question.
Okay. And another question was, with the COVID-19 going on, have you noticed big changes with some of the sites? Are many of them closed down, or are they still open, but they're just taking precautions with guests visiting the attractions and sites?
Depends really, but everything I talk about today is open actually. So except the Aura show, but it will be open soon. Like in August, I think. So everything I talk about is open for now.
Okay, perfect. I don't see any more questions, but we're going to stay on for a couple more minutes because we do have those questions up there, and I do want to make sure that I have covered everything. As I mentioned earlier, Anderson Vacations will work with you to create these itineraries. As the provinces open up, we are being very, very cautious with our COVID care, making sure that our guests are safe, whether it be sanitized car rentals, the accommodation that we're working with, anything like that. Many of our tours are not going to be starting really until the winter time, so hopefully by then. And we have taken our fully escorted tours, which were small group tours already, and made them even smaller. So that's really great news. And we've been social distancing on our tours long before it was cool, because we always had those small group tours that existed for the last few years. So I do have one more question here. I'm just going to look at it quickly. Excellent. Some great feedback, Manuel. There's lots of people saying thank you for the information. Some great questions. Some prize winners from before. Oh, yes, Celine did mean Quebec City, so that's right, Old Town and New Town. The questionnaire, you know what, it depends on how many people, if people weren't able to sign on, but if you can get the questionnaire back to me within 24 hours, that would be great. Some people need assistance with the trivia. Well, you can send me an email and give me a nudge for sure. But yeah, that's fantastic. I wanted to thank every single one of you for your support, for showing up for these Anderson Vacations events, these happy hours. We love doing them, and we love the feedback that we're getting, and the fact that you're taking time out of your day to join us. Let us know if you like the new earlier time. We were trying to be as inclusive as we can across Canada. A special thank you behind the scenes to Pip, who's our marketing manager, who puts these programs together and does a phenomenal job. She's very much a stickler for getting it right, and she does an excellent job every single time. And a really heartfelt thank you to Manuela and to your team, to the lovely ladies who did the videos for us. Thank you so much for your continued support. And please feel free to reach out to me anytime, not only with the answers to the questions, so you are entered to win the land package for two to Quebec, but also if you have any other questions that we might not have answered today that might come up. I will leave this, we do have one more slide, but I will actually, it's just a thank you slide. I will leave these questions up for a couple more minutes. Let's see if I have anything else. Oh, lots of thank yous, wonderful. Excellent. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Manuela. Thank you to everyone. Have a wonderful almost weekend is coming up. It's a one day away, and I start my vacation tomorrow. So I look forward to connecting with you in a couple of weeks. And I can't even tell you what our next happy hour is because it's escaped me. But if you have missed any of our happy hours, they are all recorded. So if you want the recordings, you can go to our website, andersonvacations.ca, and go to the agent login and register. You have access to all of those pre-recorded webinars. Or if you'd like me to send them to you, we always do, when Pip sends out the thank you afterwards, they are attached at the bottom. So do pay attention to the thank you that you will receive, and you should receive an invitation very soon for our next happy hour in a couple of weeks. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks to all of you once again. Bye for now. Bye, Manuela.
Thank you, Darcie. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.